Hey, welcome to video 4 of my 100 videos in 100 days. I'm Danny, also the Kinky Polyatheist, and today I'm picking up where I left off yesterday, which was boundaries, specifically boundary enforcement. So yesterday we talked about rules versus boundaries and what agreements are, and we came to that a rule is an agreement that you may or may not be involved in, that anyone who knows the rule can attempt to enforce. So, I mean, that could be something as simple as like don't drink and drive, or it could be something as simple as the rules to the game Rummy. No one ever asked me if I agreed to the rules, to making the rules to the game Rummy. But if I want to play, I gotta agree to the rules. A boundary is an agreement that I make with myself that only I can enforce, really. People can try to help me out with enforcement, but when it really comes down to it, a boundary is an agreement that I make with myself that only I can enforce. So our example was drunk driving. If someone is drunk and driving, I can, as a rule, I can tell them they shouldn't drink, right? There's a rule, you're not allowed to drink and drive, I can try and stop them, whatever. But that's enforcing a rule. Enforcing a boundary is when I say, hey, I don't get in cars with people who are drunk, so I'm not going to get in your car. That is a boundary. That is an agreement I made with myself, and I'm enforcing it for myself. It governs my actions, right? I'm not telling them not to drink. I'm just saying I'm not getting in the car. So I want to take that to the next step here. I want to talk about boundary enforcement, because there's a really interesting thing that happens a lot, actually, where people use boundaries as a way to manipulate other people and control their actions. So for example, if I walked up to you and said, hey, stop drinking, you're supposed to drive me home, right? I could say, I have a boundary that I won't get in the car with you if you're drunk or if you're drinking. And I can use that boundary as a threat. I can come right up and try and change your actions based on my boundary. That's manipulation, right? I could still get a taxi home. I could still get a friend to drive me home. There's many other things that I could do if I decide that I don't want to get in a car with you to fulfill my needs and my boundaries. But coming at you with my boundary as a threat, that's a whole different story. And it's a really tricky topic, and the best way I could find to describe it was it's all about intentions. So when you enforce your boundaries, are your intentions to maintain your own power and your own actions, like your own power, your own space? Or are your intention to control someone else's power and control someone else's actions? That's the difference. So when you enforce your boundaries, think about how you're enforcing them and make sure you're not manipulating other people with your boundaries. What that leads to very quickly is getting triggered. People get triggered by things, and I understand, I get triggered too. But you can't turn your triggers into ways of controlling other people's actions, because that right there is manipulation. A good example is, hey, I'm triggered by puppies, so you can't have a puppy. That's controlling someone else's behavior and using a boundary as your excuse to do it. That's manipulation. A better way to say that would be, hey, I'm triggered by puppies. Maybe we could work something out and I could help me work through this. And if you are going to get a dog, maybe the dog should stay outside for a while I work through this, right? That's a whole different story compared to you can't do a thing because it triggers me. I've actually also heard the words weaponized anxiety, and I think they're pretty valid. I've been in more than one relationship where someone was using weaponized anxiety against me. They were afraid of this, they were afraid of that, and they were using that fear to make me do things and manipulate me. When in reality, they should be letting me know their boundary, letting me know their trigger, and they should be working on it. And I'm very happy to work with them while they are healing. So that's it for today. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. See you later.